podcast at Patriots.com.
Double punch, he throws it, picked off, goodbye. Running left side, 15-10, backpedaling into the end zone. It's Marcus Jones, another pick six.
Live from our studio inside Gillette Stadium, this is the Patriots Postgame Show, presented by DraftKings.
26-20, the final score in Cincinnati. The Patriots taking another win in this one. Welcome into the Patriots Postgame Show, presented by DraftKings. Paul Perillo's here, Mike Dussault's here. I don't have my mic by my mouth, and now we're rolling.
I'm the only one ready to play.
He was the only one prepared. You probably felt the same way. We were literally at the edge of our seats, stressed out the entire time. But again, the Patriots come out with a W in this one.
Yeah.
First reactions.
A sloppy game.
Yes.
Felt like they escaped. Feels like this is a team that's been playing for whatever it is, 12 straight weeks now. Not a great start. You know, got stopped in the red zone a couple of times, a bunch of injuries. I mean, that's probably what's going to be the biggest takeaway from this game is the number of injuries that they had, starting with Will Campbell and Jared Wilson on the left side of the line. But, you know, give them credit. They stayed hung in there and they fought and they sealed up the win. But, you know, there's definitely a lot of issues to point out with this game. But I think they pulled out enough plays to get the win, and that's, you know, what counts right now.
Yeah, just check it off, survive in advance. Nothing great about this one. I mean, this is probably the worst offensive game they've had in a while, but defensively, I thought they did some nice things in this game. So it wasn't all bad, and like Mike said, you just find a way to check it off. Kind of looked like a tired team today, did not play well, but they got the win.
Yeah, maybe a little bit rusty, too, from the extended week off or something, but, you know, whatever way it was, it's just, you know, it didn't come out great, and certainly the Drake Maye looked a little bit off. But, you know, again, I give him a little bit of credit, I thought, after that really sloppy start where we're kind of sitting here evaluating how he's holding the ball. He did find a little bit of a stride. It wasn't a straight line perfect to the end, but, again, did enough. And I always am appreciative when he's able to overcome some of the bad starts because a lot of quarterbacks, they start to spiral, they get sped up, and, you know, you've got a game long of bad performance. But, you know, not Drake's best game for sure, but they got the win.
Exactly. And then that's what we will talk about. So let's get into the good, the bad, and the injured.
Now it's time for the good,
Pretty good. It's pretty good.
the bad,
Hey, what happened?
and the injured.
You all right, Gay?
All right, Patriots fans, this month you can celebrate Veterans Day with a new snowblower from Aaron's during their Holidays and Heroes sales event. Now through December 3rd, you can save $100 on select models this winter. Let the King of Snow help clear your driveway so that you have more time to support your team. Aaron's, the official snowblower of the New England Patriots. Visit www.ariens.com to find your Aaron's. And, of course, we do start with the good in this one.
Yeah, let's start with Hunter Henry. You know, it's just another great performance of him. 10 targets, 7 receptions, 115 yards. That touchdown, had another, you know, touchdown called back due to penalty. But, you know, he was the guy today, and we've seen that a lot over his time here. You know, kind of a quiet day for Stephon Diggs, except for maybe down the end. But otherwise, it was Hunter Henry was the straw stirring the drink. And as Paul pointed out, we heard from Mike Petraglia in the opening saying, you know, Hunter Henry, big game for him today. And he sure did. A lot of those throws felt like, you know, when Maye had a little bit of time, that it was, you know, kind of pitch and catch with Hunter Henry, as you're seeing the touchdown here for those watching the video of it. So great play from Hunter Henry. This is what we've kind of gotten used to with him being Maye's favorite receiving target and, you know, critical guy today.
Yeah, he was my first guy on the list, stood out by far from the rest today. And what I thought was particularly important, Mike mentioned sort of the erratic start for Maye. I thought this one went on a little longer than they normally do. And there was a throw that he made to Henry that I thought was really big, just a little one of those where Henry just presents himself just beyond the sticks on a third down. I think it was 3rd and 4. He got about 6. And then he comes wide open on the touchdown where Maye probably made his really, I think, is one of the very few plus plays for Drake Maye today was that skip and rip, as Ted Johnson calls it on WEEI.
We're gonna keep it.
Where he just, I think that Hunter Henry got Drake Maye going. So it wasn't just the 7 for 115 and a touchdown. It was when he got the first couple that I thought he got Drake Maye to settle down. So hats off to Hunter Henry today. I thought he was instrumental in turning things around in the first half.
Who else is on your list?
My first guy after that was, like I said, I was with Mike. Carlton Davis, I thought, was really, really good in this game. I thought he had a number of instances where he was very tight, and I know that there might be some mocking today because let's face it, who they were asked to cover wasn't necessarily what you would think going into a game against Cincinnati, but I thought he does a good job right here on Jones on a deep ball. I thought he had a couple of other instances where he was able to dive and knock down some out patterns that Joe Flacco likes to throw. I thought he was really tight at the end of the game, made some difficult windows for Flacco. And there was a play early in the game where was it Yoshivas who had the end around that looked like it could spring for a decent gain, or it might have been a sprint out to Chase Brown. He was like the only guy there, and good sure tackle in the open field. I thought this was Carlton Davis's best game.
Yeah, showed up a little bit for sure today. I was thinking, same thing. But overall, I trying to think how to phrase this because initially I didn't really have the defense on there. I mean, I thought the pick six in the first quarter, in the first half there was obviously a great play. Terrible throw by Joe Flacco.
Yeah,
wasn't really saying
defense. Yeah.
But I had down second half defense where you came out, you forced 3 straight punts. Really, it should have given the Patriots offense all they needed to pull away and seal this game out. But they couldn't. And then they came through. He gave up a touchdown. That drive was really quick. You do get the final stop there, maybe a little bit more interesting than it should have been. So I don't know. This is like one of those ones where I write it down after 3 straight punts, and then I'm kind of like, ooh, that was a bad touchdown.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I thought the defense was real because I think Cincinnati has a pretty good offense. I thought the defense was really good, really pretty much throughout the game. I don't know how much to credit the Patriots defense just because of all the guys that were hurt. I mean, even T. Higgins ends up going out. Yoshivas goes out. He comes back in. Gesicki goes out. He comes back in. I mean, I get it, but you can only cover who you're going against. But the Bengals only had 300 yards of offense. I thought the defense was pretty good today.
Yeah.
Carlton Davis, to me, something they were doing in the secondary was pretty good because Flacco couldn't really find any opening. He only threw for 183 yards. So, I mean, let's call it 200 yards because Flacco had to leave the game at one point. I thought the defense was pretty good. This is not necessarily the high-powered Bengals offense that were billed as because none of those guys played. By the end of the game, none of those guys were alive.
No,
I mean,
no, I think Burrow's just going to walk right out and be like, you know what? I'm good.
I'm good.
I don't want to go.
And you know what? The funny thing is, it had really nothing to do with like the pass rush. Like it's everybody talks about the offensive line. It was just guys getting hurt, like just
every few minutes,
banging their heads on the turf and whatnot. But Carlton Davis, I thought he was really, really good in this game. So I that's why I singled him out.
Yeah, I had Hunter Henry as well, Carlton Davis at the top. But I went straight to Borregales in third because he scored the most points for this team, 14 total. Obviously, that 52-yard field goal, 4 for 4 with his kicks today. And, every week we talk about the kick game, but this was one game where you needed him to be accurate, and he was able to pull through.
Yeah.
And
I had Borregales on my list. He was perfect today in a day where points were hard to come by. You wouldn't have expected them to be hard to come by, but they were. And, he came up big.
Yeah. Look at that 52-yarder right there.
Yeah, the last one I had of the people we discussed, just Marcus Jones. I like the pick six again. I mean, I think it was a terrible throw by Flacco. I mean, I could see it coming, but also getting, the final pass defense there, and also, I just think he was generally pretty active, and I don't know. I struggle with the goods in this one because it was not a lot of consistent performances. There were some flashes, but
exactly like when Landry got the sack, when we had talked about him in pregame, I was hoping that we'd see more from him, but a lot of people that were that could have been on the good list were just like sparks of.
Yeah, I had Austin
plays.
Hooper also on my good list. I thought, again, going back to Trags, got to give him a shout out because he nailed it. Tight ends have been a problem for the Bengals. I thought Henry and Hooper early on kind of got Drake Maye going a little bit. Unfortunately, Maye wasn't really able to sustain that little groove that he got in sort of late in the second quarter, I think. But 3 for 39, good return from him. After missing the last game with a concussion. So I hit, not quite like Henry in the impact that Henry had, but I thought the two tight ends were good.
But also the irony for the Bengals in the end of the game, losing all the receivers, they have to have 3 tight ends and still can't figure out how to score. So just very bad football overall.
Yeah, just a lot of sloppiness overall. And I mean, there's really just, they won the game, but I feel like there's a lot more to dig into with the bads.
Yes. So which is where we'll go to next.
I don't know if you guys want to. I'll just start off from the top. The
it.
Offensive start just felt like they were off. And that was disappointing to see. To only really score one offensive touchdown against which people were telling us might be one of the worst defenses in NFL history. Maye didn't look right. It was lucky that other one that he totally skied didn't get picked off. Just not a great start for him. And again, he did pull it together enough to make some plays, but it never felt like you really got into that like Maye and Fuego part of the show where it's like, oh, he's dealing now. I mean, there were certainly moments where he had time and you felt like, oh, here we go. But it just wasn't consistent enough today, and he didn't really have anything else to help him with the running game either.
Yeah, I agree with you about Maye, and even kind of this is the first time since last year that it was kind of beginning to end. Like the last throw he makes is really ill-advised. Mm-hmm. You got a 3-point lead. You're in field goal range. It's third down. You're off your back foot facing a blitz right down your face. You just let one fly off your back foot. You don't know that that's not getting picked. There were 2 Bengals there. One of them, I think 35, broke on the ball, had a chance to make a play. Yeah. That's kind of the only way you're going to really lose, is if you do it, in other words, you throw a pick there or you miss that field goal there and then you make a couple of bad plays. The Bengals were hard pressed to move the ball without all the personnel they had that they had missing today. I thought Maye struggled early in this game. I missed it. I thought this was going to be sort of a coming out party for him. And you look at the numbers at the end; they don't look horrible. 22 for 35 for 294, career high, 294. I just don't think it. Can you think of like a throw that he made today that you said, wow, what a throw? I mean, he had a number of throws to tight ends that were wide open.
Yeah.
I really can't think of, one of those tight window throws or
There was one.
Dropping one in the bucket down the sideline.
Up the left seam. It might have been Hunter Henry. There were 4 or 5 guys around. It was in the first half. But I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah, I didn't see too many. I give Josh McDaniels some credit for making sure that didn't have to happen. They saw what the problems were with the Bengals defense, the ones that Trags told us about pregame, and they exploited them. I thought the tight ends were open, and they targeted them 14 times for 10 catches, 154 yards. That's taking what they give you, as they say. So a smart game, I thought, by Josh McDaniels and the Patriots offense. Let's make sure we don't make any more mistakes that keep Cincinnati in the game.
Like that.
Overall, my frustration was...
Yeah, that was a good one.
Right. There we go.
At 3-11
they found one for us.
That was a pretty good one.
I mean, I don't know. He looks pretty open to me. But that's a good throw. This is a good... Yeah, he's less open than I thought the first time. 49 kind of ran by him. That's a good throw. But those were few and far between. This is just pitch and catch.
Yeah.
He was, like I said, 22 for 35, 294. It's not like it was a train wreck.
Right.
Just maybe not as good as he's been, which shows you how good he's been.
Yeah, for sure.
Somehow the Chiefs survive in overtime. Colts are going to kill themselves. But that's a good outcome for the Patriots. More good news for New England because that's one less team with 2 losses in the conference.
Exactly. Along the lines, Deuce, of your offense, I was just mostly frustrated with the red zone offense, especially them goal line stand from Cincinnati at one point. It drive after drive cannot get into the end zone. I don't understand what was going on that drive specifically, but just very frustrated.
4 field goals,
that.
They were stopped, and not all these are technically red zone. I agree with your point, though. I mean, you were stopped on the 23 for a field goal. You were stopped on the 1 for downs. You were stopped on the 27 for a field goal, the 1 for a field goal, and the 33 for a field goal. So you're right, though, and that's just... Again, they lost. Not only were they down Cam Taylor-Britt, they brought in old friend Marco Wilson, who was here all summer, and then he goes down.
Fifth and sixth corners. Can't make plays.
Someone explain that one to me. How they're on their 7th corner, and they can still, and we're still unable in the red zone to dial it up against this defense. To me, that was the most frustrating part of the whole game. That was where the game was essentially, made close because they were stopped twice on the 1-yard line. Just not something you expect from this team. They've been pretty good inside the red zone. Yeah. Not great, but you'd think against this defense with what they have, they had everybody back. They got Ramondre back. I thought we've got some power on the goal line. And then since just to piggyback off that, they couldn't run the ball. I mean, they couldn't run the ball at all today. You know, there was just nothing going on the ground.
It was technically 0 for 2 in the red zone for the Patriots, but
Right,
but
it all comes down. Let's call it like it was. The way we were talking about it while we were watching, like that was just a unbelievably poor execution on that drive. When they get down there, they get the penalties. They still can't get it in. They have to take 2 timeouts on that drive because they took all 3 timeouts in the second half because they had to avoid delay of game penalties. You know, so like across the board, this was just a little bit of a sloppy performance. This is why, like, I don't know, you might remember this, Mike, because you remember the odd, nonsensical things that I do during the course of the week.
That's why we're friends.
I sort of get annoyed every week when everybody's like, "Well, the Patriots didn't play their best," but they're, you know, I'm like, no, today, when you don't play well, you know it. That was you don't tell me there was a difference between that game and Thursday night, last Thursday night. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think every time the Patriots don't win by 50 points, everybody wants to say, well, they won the game, but they didn't play really well. Like, suddenly they've morphed into the 2007 version of the Patriots. Today was a day they didn't play well, and they found a way to win.
Yeah.
This was sloppiness, like self-inflicted wounds all over the place. Like I said, 3 timeouts. You had to burn 3 separate timeouts because you didn't have your personnel ready to avoid a delay of game penalty. So I give them a lot of credit for finding a way to win the game because it's not easy to win when you don't play well, even when the other team doesn't play well either, because Cincinnati played wretchedly bad in this game. And by the way, if I was a Cincinnati fan, I would want Zach Taylor's job right now. Yeah. Right now. I mean, I don't know how many 4th and 1s you're going to punt on when you have the worst defense in football.
Right.
He's leaning on his defense like he's got the 2000 Ravens. You know, let's back him up.
Make a stop.
Let's back him up. We'll make a stop. You're not making a stop. You made them punt a couple of times. You had a pick in this game. How many times do you think you were going to stop them?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that's a wretchedly bad defense. How many times did you think you were going to stop them?
Yeah.
And, like, they're down 4 points. No, 3 points, whatever it was. They were down. I think they were down 4 late in the game. In the 4th quarter, and it's 4th and less than 1, a 3rd and less than 1. He throws it, which tells me you're taking a shot to try to make some yards, but you're going to go for it on 4th down. Nope. He comes out and he's trying to draw him offside. He ends up intentionally taking a delay of game. I'd fire him now. Like that was just really, really. I thought chicken bleep coaching. Yeah. Like afraid. Like, Vrabel wouldn't have done that. Vrabel would have gone for those. And another thing I'll give Vrabel credit for, I probably should have brought it up on the good list. I love when the analytic guys don't just go by analytics. They go by the game. Game situation was important today, and he showed you that. You know, end of the first half, 30 seconds left, 4th and 2. That's a time that he's been going for it left and right all year. Now we're going to kick the field goal and take the points here. We're a little sporadic offensively today.
Yeah, felt like it.
You know, late in the game, we're not going to push it. We're going to take the field goal, make it a 6-point game. I thought a couple of times he had opportunities to go for 4th downs today, and he said, no, we're going to take the points. So it's not all or nothing. And I think that's the difference between Vrabel and a lot of these other guys. A lot of these other guys are, you know, I'm not saying Vrabel's the only one that does it. Yeah. It's not like I'm not trying to be the obnoxious Patriots guy. Yeah. But Vrabel showed me that he's willing to take the game situation into account. And a lot of these guys just do what they do because it says it on my chart. This is what I'm supposed to do. So I think that was a big difference in this game today. You win the game by 6 points because you were willing to take some points at times. You know, I think Mike Vrabel was a big part of this game.
Yeah.
Big part in a positive way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We still got to get, I had the late clock stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean,
short yardage
offense. I mean, everything I had the clock late in the half. I didn't like them sort of running the ball on that first down. They looked like they were trying to milk the clock instead of trying to score a touchdown. But the run defense today, like something totally separate from the execution of the offense.
Yep.
It's the first game without Milton Williams. Now, I'm going to hesitate to say this was Milton Williams related because I think there's been signs of this. The last 2 weeks, this was coming. And today, the difference was they gave one guy the carries. So instead of 50 yards, it was 100 yards. But they had a hard time with Chase Brown today.
Yeah, they did.
Up front.
Yeah. They did. Yeah, I'm not sure how to phrase this exactly. But the drive right before halftime, 3 plays, 37 yards, you give up a field goal. And then the drive, their last touchdown drive, 4 plays. 44 yards. I mean, it's just you can't do that in clutch time. I mean, they've been really good most of this season. You know, and who we're seeing the kickoff return. I mean, lucky that that they weren't already starting about their 27
And the field goal
line.
drive that you're talking about, Mike, was really 2 plays.
Yeah, right.
37
The third
yards.
play was
that can't happen.
No, can't happen.
Can't
in the half.
happen.
They've been really good around the half. Last week it was not so great. They missed the field goal. Against the Jets. Just that execution, and those are the kind of drives that scare the hell out of me. Especially coming down the end when that this isn't the most high-powered passing attack, especially down the end. They couldn't really push the ball down the field all that much, and then all of a sudden, it just takes a couple plays and they're in field goal range. So, just some situational football where the defense was not as tight. And, again, I go back to, is this a tired team? Is this a team that is a little rusty because they had a week off, and or is this a sign that this is teams start to become who they are around this time of year? And I mean, Paul mentioned the 07 Patriots, but I just. Not completely apples to apples, but I remember in December, that was a different team. That was a team that was kind of holding on by the skin of their teeth, grinding wins out. And if you really looked, you said, this isn't the high-flying team that it was earlier in the season. And, this Patriots team's a young team. They have a lot to figure out, and it's hard for a young team like that to establish consistency. But I just hope that they're able to get right over this next Monday Night Football and the bye week, which is kind of a weird schedule now. They have a little bit of an extended week now, and then they'll have a full week off. So can they get a little bit more healthy? Can they get a little bit more sharp? Can they get back to the way they were playing? Because I feel like the last few weeks it's been good enough to get wins, but if you're really paying attention and you really want this team to make some noise in the playoffs, I think that there's some things that you can poke some holes in.
Yeah, and it's funny because when we talked about the good list, we had a hard time coming up with a lot of different things. And I'm the same with the bad list, with specific things. I mean, I had early in the game, Chasen goes offside on on a fourth, on a 4th and 5. Not an easy conversion. Make them get it. They draw you offside. That can't happen. Now they ended up getting the stop because they ended up getting I think a drop pass and they got off the field anyway. Then they got a sack, but. These are the kinds of things that I know people are going to laugh, but these are the kinds of things that get you beat. You're playing against the worst teams in the league, and I know everybody hates to hear that.
Yeah.
But you are playing a steady stream of the worst teams in the league, and it's good enough to win by 6 points against one of the worst teams in the league. But it ain't good enough to beat good teams. And hopefully they can clean these things up, and we won't have to find that out if this kind of a performance is good enough to beat a good team. But my guess is we all know the answer to that. You can't jump offside on 4th and 5.
Yeah. No, it's stupid. I mean, there's no other way. And we have Caleb Chase on. We got a player or anything?
I know.
I'm holding my breath as we're on the bats.
Maybe we won't get one today. I don't know. Maybe
we will. Hunter Henry.
Maybe they'll be.
Hunt. All right.
We'll talk to Hunter Henry.
Maybe they'll be pouting because they didn't play as well.
Oh,
yeah. It was an interesting game. I mean, like I said. When you don't play really well and you find a way to win the game, there's something to be said for that. And I don't want to dismiss it. I think Mike Vrabel, for the most part, made really good decisions at critical times today. And they were, Mike, critical?
Critical?
Yeah. To the win.
End of the sentence. How we do it. Probably the worst part of the whole thing is having to talk about these injuries.
Yeah, the longest injury list we've talked about.
This is the most significant injury list that we've had.
So Jared Wilson, your rookie starting left guard, was carted off, looked like an
right ankle.
The first drive of the game.
Morgan Moses was a little sick. He came out, but he returned. I think he played the rest of the game.
He didn't miss much.
Brendan Schooler, out, ankle injury. Kyrus Tonga, I don't believe we saw him return.
No, but that was a chest injury.
And then the worst one was Will Campbell. Kind of saw it as it was happening. The camera cut away, but
that one looked bad to me.
Up.
I thought they were doing the ACL test on the field.
His face was covered.
He gets carted off. He's got the towel over his head.
And it came up for a second, and it looked like he may have been.
No, don't show
it.
Don't show it. I don't even want to see it.
We don't want to see it again. I know you're doing your job, though.
Yeah.
I think that clearly there's something
and players know
related here. Yeah, you could see the reaction around him.
Yeah.
Maybe this is a sprained MCL or something like that.
That's the power positive thinking.
No, but it might have him on the shelf for a month or so, but maybe not season ending. I fear the worst because that's what I do.
Yeah, no, me too. I've seen enough of these that I kind of feel like I
Yeah.
know that's an
What the injury
ACL.
is, yeah.
The Wes Welker one that comes to mind in 09.
And I do
oh,
think
that
that's a
ain't good.
significant one because, I like you can make an argument. I know some of our listeners have. Jared Wilson, Ben Brown. I'm not sure there's an enormous difference there. I do think there's a difference between anybody else you have at tackle, and Campbell, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I thought Vidarian Lowe did a fine job, by the way, when he went in.
Yeah, he did. I mean, it's going to, thinking the worst, I mean, that's going to test this team for sure. This is, that's how the season suddenly can go sideways and be a completely different season in one game. And, I think this is a good coaching staff. And I mean, part of me, I can't lie, is interested to see how this O-line coaching staff that has been revamped, what they're able to do if they have to, go some time with the new left side of the line. But I agree with Paul about Ben Brown. I've always kind of liked him. I just think he's a good-sized player and, got some good experience last year. But, it's not even just losing Will Campbell at left tackle. It's a little bit of an emotional blow because that kid was really
I agree.
A rookie. The kids
It's
they were
much more
rallying around.
mental.
And then him and Drake's relationship.
One of Drake's best
and,
friends. And, so it's just, look, it's, no one's going to feel sorry. This is every team in the league deals with this. You just hate when this game suddenly arrives. And, in 2008, it was game number 1, about a minute, 5 minutes in. And
this
you're
was
like,
one of
oh,
those
it's going to be a
games,
different
too.
season.
Like, with the three of us were sitting here,
Well,
like,
I mean,
the
from the
Bengals,
first
too.
drive.
The Bengals,
had,
too.
the Bengals had to lose
The
at least a
Bengals
half
was
dozen
just
players.
as long.
And they're like, it was comical at the beginning of the game. It was play, injury, play,
every
injury.
timeout was for
Patriot
injury.
down, Bengal down,
Yep.
Bengal down, Patriot down. And I do think part of it is what Mike's talking about. Like, it's week 12. For the Patriots, they haven't had a bye week yet. It's starting to pile up. The wear and tear are starting to pile up. I always used to say, like, it stinks when you go into the season banged up because you don't get healthier as an NFL season progresses. So hopefully these don't all turn out to be significant, but you're starting to see what the rest of the league is going through because this is what everybody else is dealing with every week.
And I'd say, I mean, I don't, we'll see with Schooler too, but I don't think that that's insignificant as, leader on special teams, a guy who can haul ass and get downfield and
he
make
had an
plays
ankle
and stuff,
too.
So that ain't great either. That ain't great either. And Tonga, I mean, they already lost Milton Williams. We talked a lot about Tonga being a guy to step up. Well, to get back-to-back losses of 2 of your top 3 rotational defensive tackles in 2 weeks, that ain't easy either. So, look, let's cross our fingers and hope that you get. Look, Monday's a long week maybe, but even then, 3 weeks maybe before you can get some of these guys back. Hopefully that time gives them enough time to get healthy, and these aren't all critical season-ending injuries.
Yeah.
And that's on a day where you allow, your first 100-yard rusher of the year, 19 for 107.
I mean, maybe
for Chase
that's the
Brown.
better thing to point out with Tonga is,
Yeah,
maybe it's more
Tonga and
than
Williams, that, significant.
Yep.
Significant.
getting Eric Gregory in there, young kid. I mean, it's just, it's not easy to manage this many injuries. But
Yeah, especially because earlier in the pregame we talked about letting the depth get reps, but unfortunately it was because it was because
we needed to make a stop.
Yeah, exactly.
And everything else you said ended up being right. I mean,
Yeah,
Flacco.
right.
Hey, Jake Browning got in. I was like,
But you were right about. I mean, Flacco clearly was not help. I mean, you were right.
I did not need to see his finger either.
And it had nothing to do
didn't
with
see that.
the finger. It was more the shoulder. Like he wasn't throwing the ball at all early in the game. And you guys were right. I mean, it's funny. Like all the numbers that we pick are really good. Like, we're looking for a 37.5-yard completion for Drake May. He has one for 37. Joe Flacco's attempts were 38.5. He attempts 37.
Yep.
Oh, and by the way, Jake Browning comes in for 1.
Yep.
So that's 38.
All else clear.
So the numbers are right there. But you guys were right. I thought, I mean, if you had told me 19-13 this game was going to be, take away the 2 pick sixes, I would have said, there's no way. No way. But that's what we saw.
2 pick sixes, 25 injuries, and no red zone offense. Yeah, pretty much.
Right, exactly.
Sum it up.
All right. Well, while we wait for Hunter Henry, let's see what Christian LA has to say. Christian,
Hey, you guys.
how's it going?
So a win is a win, as they say, but some wins don't feel like victories. They feel like you got a W in the column. When I called Thursday, I said I was pretty worried about our interior run defense and who would step up, and I got my answer, and I'm not happy about that. I said I was worried about the ability to get an interior pass rush also, and again, I'm not happy about that. We made Joe Flacco look serviceable instead of old and immobile. And now with the injuries to the offensive line, this team is at a crossroads, in my opinion. And the way we go into next week against the Giants is going to be a very interesting game. And then how we come out of that bye is going to determine if this team is going to make some noise in the playoffs or if we as fans are going to settle with a better-than-expected season. How do you guys feel about the rest of the season, our ability to hold on to that number one seed with that change with the Colts and the Chiefs today? And I'll take it off the air.
Thanks, Christian.
I
Great
mean,
question.
looking
ahead to the
I think
Giants,
that's. I mean, I like to tease Christian a lot. I think that's one of Christian's better calls right there, because I do think looking today in the micro is not necessarily relevant. It's the macro.
Right.
Like, do these two injuries on the left side of your offensive line, are they are they both significant, which we kind of think they are, and do they have an impact? You see, I'm just looking at Twitter a little bit. Drake Maye talking about guys that obviously mean a lot to him.
Yep.
So mentally, and you made that comment, Mike, early, does that affect them mentally, missing those guys potentially? And which directions does the team go? I think that Giants game is shaping up, in my view, to be a very difficult game. The Giants have played everybody pretty much
competitively,
tough. They had another just bitter loss today. And they've been able to step up against the better teams in the league. They went to Denver and had the game in hand in the fourth quarter. Today they go to Detroit, and they had the game in hand in the fourth quarter, end up losing in overtime. So I don't think that's going to be an easy game come Monday night. And then they'll have a bye, and then you find out maybe a little bit more when you get Buffalo, Baltimore back. I think Christian's on that, and I think it could go either way.
Yeah.
Is it going to be a season that you're happy just because you've turned it around and you've become good, or is it could be a special season that you can do some damage in the playoffs? I think the story is still to be written.
That's what I was feeling too. Is, are you going to hold up the team that has gotten to this point, won 9 straight games, but then injuries happened and we weren't that team, and we fizzled out at the end, and but next year we're going to get back to that team that we were,
Right.
and that's.
And what was
I don't really want to be there.
I think if you took a poll of most Patriots fans heading into the season, and idiots like us, what was the biggest fear we had? What was the biggest concern heading into the year? Depth.
Yeah.
Everybody across the board said depth. And we haven't really had to see it for 12 weeks. I think we're going to have to see it in week 13.
Offensive, defensive line too. I mean,
Yeah.
these are positions every down impacted by these guys. For
And
better
you
or
can make
worse.
an argument that the defensive line has been the strength of the team, beyond the obvious of Drake Maye.
Yeah.
But you just wonder. You just wonder if these start, because they can't run the ball. And it's not going to get better when you're losing your linemen.
Yeah. No, I mean, really, it's becoming a season-long thing. Couple long runs the last few weeks offset some of that.
And
You
you
know,
didn't
you
have
can look
any
at like
today.
a number, but there were no big plays today.
I mean, I thought Henderson was actually better today than he was last week. I know everybody will be fixated because he didn't have 3 touchdowns this week, but I thought he actually ran hard.
Yeah.
The numbers aren't any different. He was 3.7 today. He was 3.3 last week. Again, the touchdowns are all anybody's going to say, wow, he was disappointing today. Even Trent Green made the comment, like he's been hot and he was bottled up today. I was like, he was bottled up last week too.
Yeah.
So this is when your metal's going to be tested. I think that to me, in my view, is beyond reproach. I think they've sort of proven themselves mentally, being mentally tough. Now, physically, can you continue to make plays with who's, can Marcus Bryant, if he has to play, Vidarian Lowe, if he has to play. I have more faith in Ben Brown because he's played more.
Me too.
But I mean, that defensive line that you talk about, Mike, all of this is going to start to add up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to lose sight of the fact, too, that it's pretty impressive to come to a point now where we were the last 2 years, where if the Patriots played a bad game in the last 2 years, they weren't winning that game.
Yeah.
And they would be lucky to be in a 1 or 2 score game in that game,
Right.
To
Even
be
against a bad team, this game would have came down to the wire and the other
they
team
would've
would have
won.
made
and
the
it
plays.
still kind of did. But, but I think that there is, still signs of progress when you look at it from the view of what this team has been. And to come into a game on the road, you don't have your best, you lose some of your better players over the course of it to injury. It's still a sign, I think, of a team that's pretty mentally tough. And it's great that they were able to win the game, because if they can continue to win games and get a home playoff game and play here, I think it'll make a big difference for them. You just don't want to see a team that now at the end, injuries, they start to lose it and they kind of fall apart. But they've shown remarkable mental toughness in game over the course of the season. But, as Paul kind of said, they haven't had a lot of real adversity yet and having to overcome things that, some teams do. I mean, sometimes injuries happen to teams and overcoming them becomes, the identity of the team. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen for the Patriots, but I think there's a very good chance that they're going to need Vidarian Lowe to finish out this season and protect that left side for Drake Maye. And, how does it look this year? I know he got a lot of crap the last couple of years, but he's in a better system now, I think. I think he has better coaching, and he's had a chance to kind of rest and get healthy. Wasn't healthy this summer. Came off of IR, into camp at one point. So, there's part of me that wants to see him go out and do well after the amount of criticism that he took and, some of the better support that he has around him now. But big challenge for Drake Maye, too. Big challenge for young Drake Maye in his second year to work around this stuff. But get used to it, kid. This is how the NFL goes.
I want to go back to what you said about the adversity, because they haven't had it in the sense of strength of schedule, as everyone has either complained or bragged or whatever about. But when you think about today's game, I feel like that was adversity, being able to win in a game where, one, you were supposed to mentally come back, physically you lose players, and still find a way to get a W, which is, I think, maybe the biggest struggles they've had all season.
Yeah, and it's one thing to have like a 10-point deficit in the first quarter versus let's see what it looks like a 10-point deficit in the fourth quarter. That's a real
how can
one.
You play it?
I agree.
What I mean?
This was like an adversity game, period, for everybody that played in it. There were guys, and I'm serious.
Yeah.
There were
Even for some people watching it, I think it's kind of adversity.
There were guys dropping in this game left and right. This was one of those games that both sides sort of probably felt like, geez, everything's working against us today.
Yeah.
But I will say, they were down 2 scores today, and they found a way to win.
Yeah.
First time they've done that.
There you go. First Drake Maye pick six, bunch of firsts
Right.
going on.
Some good, some bad, some indifferent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, let's head to Orlando and see what Chris has to say. Chris, how are you feeling?
Doing all right.
Yeah.
He's just scraped out of there. Touch on a couple things. I think Drake looked as bad as he ever did look early. I don't think we're talented enough to consistently overcome slow starts. I think that's going to build up. Paul brought up this being Milton Williams related. I was thinking that the entire game. This team is going to need to get healthy down the stretch. I think these games for us mean everything. I think we need the number 1 seed. I think we need that bye. That home field advantage will be ginormous to make a serious run. Although you could also say we're 6-0 on the road. So I don't know. This team it gives me too much mixed messages. We end up winning, but we're not good enough to overcome slow starts. I think that's what we're learning, especially with our injuries.
Right, yeah. I mean, they have been so far, but I actually said the opposite about Milton Williams. I'm not sure this was specific to Milton Williams because I think it's sort of been coming on the last few weeks. I've seen a little bit less stout play up front. Now, maybe it's Milton Williams. I don't know. Maybe it is. I look at him as more of a pass game player than a run game player. But, I mean, I don't. It's certainly not helping to be missing him, and I think Tonga as well. I think he's been a really good run force player for them. This picks away, and what this does is it puts guys that are in small roles, and it increases that role. And can that guy handle that? Can a guy who plays really well for 10 snaps play really well for 25?
Right. So we're actually going to switch. We're not getting Hunter Henry. We're getting Carlton Davis, who joins us right now. Welcome in and congrats on the win.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Hey, Carlton, just, big win. You guys were able to hang on there. Some big pass defenses from you down the stretch, though. Just what was the mindset going into that final drive and trying to close those guys out?
Man, it was really important for us to win it on defense and come through for our guys, man. Coach talk about it all the time that we got to show our identity in these moments. And we just wanted to go out there and show why, we're the defense who we are. And it was honestly just being a dog and understanding that the game is on us and that, it's make or break time. So we went out there with that mindset and got the job done.
8 tackles, 3 passes defense today for you, Carlton. But I want to talk about one play that I'm sure that you weren't as happy about, and that was the go route down the sideline to T. Higgins. I see a look. I could see the look on your face right now. Just, I don't even have a question. I just want you to talk about it.
Talk about it.
Bro, so, T. Higgins is a great player. And just studying his film, he's gotten a lot of go balls. And, one thing that he does well at the top of the route is he creates space with his hands. He's a physical receiver, big receiver with a big catch radius. So I've seen guys try to look back for the ball and get lost just with him giving them a nudge. And, I wanted to be stout in coverage, and I wanted to eliminate that separation. So I was playing him tough, and I went in, stabbed in the pocket, stabbed through the pocket, and I look up, I'm celebrating, I just see like 2 flags, and I'm so confused. Sorry that he got hurt on the play, but for me, man, I'm just competing at the highest level, man. I'm just trying to get the job done for my team, and for them to throw that flag and put them in position to get a touchdown, that shit, it really just messed me up, and it kind of made me, it definitely made me mad going into that next possession.
Yeah, Carlton, obviously a win is a win, but this one was a physical and mental fight. So what's the feeling in the locker room right now after that one?
I mean, it's week 12, so guys are tired. We haven't had a bye week yet.
Yeah.
And we really fought hard through that to get that win. So we are really happy, really relieved that we get a longer week this week to recover and, have Thanksgiving with our family because we play on Monday. But, we're happy that we were able to show our identity through everything that happened, being down 10-0, not playing the way we wanted to early on, but ultimately getting the win.
Yeah, what does it say, Carlton? You've been around a little bit. What does it say about your team? You guys can maybe not have your best game, but still come away with a win. You're 9th in a row. You guys are streaking right now.
It just shows our resilience. It shows, what we're made of. It shows our identity. And, honestly, I'm proud of our guys, man, because, a lot of people can say, whatever they want to say about us being 10-2, but, we fight hard for every win, and we put in the work, and it shows up on Sundays.
It does. And congratulations. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Carlton.
Thank you.
Safe travels, Carlton. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, I could just,
As you
the
started
look
the
on his face
sentence.
is like,
I could see the look on his face, and just to let everybody know, I don't think we ever actually got it was the pass interference call.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a tough call. I mean, to be completely honest, I thought it was the right call. I thought he got there early, and I thought he restricted Higgins' ability to make the catch. But I don't think it was bad coverage, and I think that's probably what really frustrated Davis is because that's a big ask on the sideline on a play like this. And you could see him; he's kind of playing right through. I don't know. I know why the flag came out on this play. Let's put it that way. But again, something happened. How do you respond to it? And he said it made him mad as hell. Didn't use the word hell.
Yeah.
And he came up with a couple of pass breakups on the final drive, diving, to deflect the ball. I thought, like I said, that's why he got a big spot on my good list. I thought this was the best game he's had.
Yeah.
Thought he was really good in this game. Really physical, really tough.
Physical. It's funny because I talked to him on Friday in the locker room. We did a little, we were talking to him, and I asked him the same thing about T. Higgins. And he said the same thing to me on Friday, and it's just funny when you talk to a guy 2 days ago and then here the game comes down to
So
one of those
that
exact
matchup.
plays that we talked about. So no, great to see him coming on, and I mean his just veteran leadership there in the secondary. I think they're going to need to lean into some of those guys as these injuries pile up on defense.
Like you said, they're just tired. I get it.
I'm tired.
Yeah,
You
me
tired?
too. We're all
No.
tired.
You just feel like you're on the treadmill
Like
right now,
on a
and I don't
hamster
even know
wheel.
if the bye makes all that much of a difference,
No.
but. It'd just be
see.
good for these guys to finally get a break.
I'll tell you, and I didn't even think of it in this way. That extra day is going to help them a little bit for the Monday night, and then they get the bye. Then maybe they will be able to catch up a little bit because you can see it. They're taking on water a little bit, and I think they need the bye.
Yeah, they sure do.
They need the bye, and if you can get there at 11-2, you got a lot to accomplish there down the stretch. Even if you slip up once or twice. I know there's a lot of talk about the first round bye. Obviously that's enormous, but to me the bigger thing is just make sure you find a way to win the division. And you are in control of the division now. We didn't talk about this at all in the pregame show, but Buffalo losing Thursday. The tiebreaker, forget the head-to-head. The tiebreaker that the Patriots are in control of right now is division record. So don't lose to the Jets or the Dolphins. And you're almost guaranteed to win the division. Even if you lose to Buffalo and Baltimore, if you beat the Giants, Miami, and the Jets, you will win the division. And that, to me, is vital to have that division round, a wild card game at home or a division round game at home, whatever it happens to be. That's what the focus should be. If you can get the number 1 seed overall, excellent. That's gravy.
Feels like you're going to really have to thread the needle, though, and that's maybe you can lose one game and get that. Maybe
The bye?
yeah.
Well, I don't know if you
Maybe
can, I don't know if you
not
can
even
lose
lose
any.
one.
I mean, sure, but now
Yeah.
you have to hope other teams
I know.
lose.
I know. It's gonna be tough.
You know, but that's the way, the way you're looking at it right now. You have a half game lead because, and again, when teams haven't played the same amount of games, like, don't tell me about the tiebreakers. But the division is different because the division is a division record, and that is firmly right now in the Patriots' favor.
Yeah.
I 100% that should agree that should be the goal. But what do you make of the fact that they are still a good team on the road? Looking at the rest of the schedule,
They're a good team no matter where they play.
Yeah, they are a good team.
Yeah.
I mean, that gives
is
me a little bit of
Like a little more
hope,
hope.
and that's
Yeah.
something that will be talked about. I mean, they have some more road games to go. They got to go to Baltimore, and they still got to go to New York. But going into the playoffs, if they do have
You
to
wanna
travel,
be at
this will
home.
be they went 7-1 on the road. Or,
Right.
that'll be how they hype them up and how you convince yourself that they're going to have a chance. But just you're going to have to play some good teams on the road, and that's probably the biggest difference.
Exactly.
You're going to have to play different caliber teams. I
Playing
mean,
New
but they
Orleans
have,
at home.
they have, in my opinion,
Buffalo's a big
they
one.
have two very good road wins in Buffalo and Tampa.
Yep.
So it's not like they don't think they can do it. To Kwani's point, though, they know they can have success. They know they don't have to be home to win because they've done it.
Yeah.
6-0
Yep.
on the
to
road.
see.
They
That's
know that they
impressive.
can win on the road.
Exactly. All right. Don't go anywhere. We still have a lot to talk about. We're taking your phone calls here on the Patriots Postgame Show, presented by DraftKings.
This Patriots postgame show is brought to you by Massachusetts 250 campaign, commemorating a history of possibility. Plan your revolutionary weekend at massachusetts250.org. And by Brunt Workwear. They make work boots and apparel that are built for the job site. Their gear is comfortable, durable, and named after the real workers in the trades that help design it. Save $10 on your first order at bruntworkwear.com/Pats or with coupon code PATS.
The future with AI will twist and turn. Cisco is the critical infrastructure for the AI era, clearing your path to wide open possibility. Cisco.
It ain't my dad's razor, Dad.
Hey, watch it.
It's from Gillette Labs. This green bar releases trapped hairs from my face.
Game changer.
While the Flex, this contours to it, so the 5 blades can get virtually every hair in one stroke. For the ultimate Gillette shaving experience,
The best the man can get
is Gillette Labs.
Let there be ideas too big to stay ideas, and the software to make them soar. Let there be anything. Autodesk.
The future with AI will twist and turn. Cisco is the critical infrastructure for the AI era, clearing your path to wide open possibility. Cisco.
It ain't my dad's razor, Dad.
Hey, watch it.
It's from Gillette Labs. This green bar releases trapped hairs from my face.
Game changer.
While the Flex, this contours to it, so the 5 blades can get virtually every hair in one stroke. For the ultimate Gillette shaving experience,
The best the man can get
is Gillette Labs.
Let there be ideas too big to stay ideas, and the software to make them soar. Let there be anything. Autodesk.
We want to hear from you. So call the hotline at 855-PATS-500 or email the show at podcasts@patriots.com. Now, back to the Patriots Postgame Show presented by DraftKings.
Welcome back into the Patriots Postgame Show. I'll send it over to you,
You're
Mike
gonna tee me up,
Dussault.
all right? Because it is time now for Building the Next Legacy, presented by Autodesk, the official design and make platform for the New England Patriots. Autodesk Construction Cloud is a platform trusted by contractors, owners, and our New England Patriots to design and build the next legacy. And guys, it pains me a little bit to make this the next legacy today, but guess what it is?
What is
Offensive line depth.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Ben Brown came in earlier, Vidarian Lowe came in a little bit later. I thought they did all right. And unfortunately, I think we're going to need those guys to continue to play at least all right, maybe better, to continue this Patriots team win streak, playing well. Injuries part of the season every year. Patriots have been really lucky to this point, especially on the offensive side of the ball. We talked a lot about depth on the offensive line. Team retained Vidarian Lowe. Still got Morgan Moses on the right side, but I think this is something that the Patriots are going to continue to build on this season. They're going to need those two guys particularly probably to step up for at least a few weeks, maybe longer. So Vidarian Lowe, Ben Brown, you are the big parts of continuing to build the next legacy here this week. So sorry, folks, not what I wanted to be delivering, but that's the NFL, and at some point you're going to have to rely on your depth, and it looks like the Patriots are going to have to do it on the left side of their line.
Build the depth to build the legacy. All right, don't go anywhere. Your calls are still waiting, so we'll get to those right after the break.
This Patriots Postgame show is brought to you by Pepsi. Game day is here, so stock up now. Grab a refreshing Pepsi Zero Sugar 12-pack now because tailgating deserves better. And by Tostitos. Football fans know traditions matter. They are what inspires us to make our masa and Tostitos the traditional way, starting with whole corn kernels. Discover your next tradition this football season. Head to the store, grab your Tostitos team bag, and scan the code for a chance to score an epic experience with the Patriots. Tostitos, tradition matters.
The future with AI will twist and turn. Cisco is the critical infrastructure for the AI era, clearing your path to wide open possibility. Cisco.
It ain't my dad's razor, Dad.
Hey, watch it.
It's from Gillette Labs. This green bar releases trapped hairs from my face.
Game changer.
While the Flex, this contours to it. So the 5 blades can get virtually every hair in one stroke. For the ultimate Gillette shaving experience.
The best a man can get
is Gillette Labs.
Let there be ideas too big to stay ideas, and the software to make them soar. Let there be anything. Autodesk.
The future with AI will twist and turn. Cisco is the critical infrastructure for the AI era, clearing your path to wide open possibility. Cisco.
It ain't my dad's razor, Dad.
Hey, watch it.
It's from Gillette Labs. This green bar releases trapped hairs from my face.
Game changer.
While the Flex, this contours to it. So the 5 blades can get virtually every hair in one stroke. For the ultimate Gillette shaving experience.
The best a man can get
is Gillette Labs.
Let there be ideas too big to stay ideas, and the software to make them soar. Let there be anything. Autodesk.
The future with AI will twist and turn. Cisco is the critical infrastructure for the AI era, clearing your path to wide open possibility. Cisco.
It ain't my...
We want to hear from you. So call the hotline at 855-PATS-500 or email the show at podcasts@patriots.com. Now, back to the Patriots Postgame Show presented by DraftKings.
Back into the Patriots postgame show presented by DraftKings after a win in Cincinnati. Full house finally at this point in the show. Matt Smith, Paul Perillo, Mike Dussault. I'm Kwani Lunis. Thanks for sticking with us. And Matt, you usually come bearing sound. So what's the feel right now?
Well, I want to get the feel from you guys first. What's the feel in this room?
It's highs and lows. We're happy they won, but not in the fashion that they won.
Yeah.
And
devastating injuries, probably. I mean, I don't know. It's hard not to think about the injuries.
Yeah. Is that what you're predicting?
But yeah, it seemed like it.
Yeah, a lot of guys left this game.
Right.
Yeah, but you know,
I think you had to be double digits in terms of the two teams today.
Yeah.
Had to be a
Added
half
the
dozen
list,
each
let's see.
side.
Added a good hour to the game.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Stop it
It's,
every
I mean, like I hate that the cliche. It's just like it's a brutal game, and this is one of those games where it's like
Today was brutal.
it was brutal.
Yep.
Guys were going down every other play.
About 10 injuries from
But hey.
my notes.
Right.
10-2.
That.
Right.
That's pretty
so,
good.
And I would say this as we start maybe with some sound. We're going to hear from the head coach first, who didn't want to comment on the injuries, did not have any updates as far as the injuries are concerned, but started out talking about the field goal operation in Andy Borregales.
Huge. Those are great, and appreciate what he's done. And I think he's, a lot of confidence there. And then the operation, we had, I went through 4 or 5 different combinations on a field goal. I mean, you lose linemen, and now you got Farms and Durden and Morgan's the win. It's just like a lot of moving parts. So give those guys credit for being able to jump in there and help us. We didn't score today. Again, you got to score with your man, whatever you call, and it'll be a good learning opportunity for us in a lot of phases, and just how important and how critical the week of practice is and being ready to go, because you never know when your opportunity is going to come, and making sure that everybody's on the same page, and a lot of moving parts today. Give them credit, and I think he came up big with some good throws, and I'm sure there's a couple that he'd like to have back.
On Friday, you had talked about the speed in which the team recovers from a good play or a bad play.
We need some work at that, everybody, me included, starting with me. I mean, that's just, I'm proud to, keep coaching these guys, and we'll respond. But I think, we can focus on that, just the speed in which we recover, and just these are long games, and, they're decided by a few plays. So in the end, we made a couple more than they did.
That's it.
He's looking the way.
That's it. Yeah. A couple interesting nuggets I thought there. One that probably most people, I put myself at the top of the list, don't factor in. But when everybody's going down in droves, you got to mix and match on the field goal operation unit. And I thought that was pretty interesting to point that out. 4 or 5 different combinations.
You don't usually think about the special teams. You just think about offense, defense, and then you forget.
Well, also you just think about long snapper, holder, kicker. Well, those guys are there. It should be fine. But if they're wheeling guys in and out,
Today proves that. I'm one of those guys.
that wouldn't have thought about that.
Right.
Right. Same here.
Right. I wouldn't have.
So
I understand that Mike has to. I mean, it's his job.
That's
He's
the
job.
coach. Right.
He doesn't. Who will?
Like I don't think Mike is like overstating anything right there.
No.
But he's the coach.
But I think we take it for granted.
The lineman should block.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If your kicker's not there and someone else has to kick, now that's different.
Yeah.
Yeah. I felt could kind of feel the weight of the game on Vrabel there a little bit. It's
Oh,
just,
no
I think
question.
Probably part of the injuries, probably part of just the the long grind that they've been on. But the interesting thing to me too, and the Giants have it the same. But like this is as late as you can possibly have a bye. They have it on the Monday night of the last bye week. Giants too.
Right.
But it's been a grind for these guys.
Right. And the other thing that caught my ear a little bit, we was talking about good opportunity to learn. As far as practice is concerned, and being ready, knowing that you need to be ready to play. I think today was a great example of that. Like, you never know when your number is going to come up.
So I wonder if what he's talking about, and I'm not trying to put words in his mouth, just like there was a lot of, hey,
we're 9-2.
Patriots are really good this week,
Mm-hmm.
around here. Like, Stephen A. Smith yelling at, leave our quarterback. You know what? Yeah. Just take a step back, focus. The whole interesting and important thing that Mike had like a month and a half ago. Yeah. It's interesting. It's not necessarily important. Why don't you keep that stuff in the back burner and let's be ready to go at the start of the game. I wonder if that's sort of what Mike is talking about. Opportunity to learn here.
Right.
We need to be we're good. We're very good. We're 10-2. But we got to be 10-2 because most of the time
to detail.
We've been ready to go.
Yeah.
And today, you can make an argument that they weren't ready to go.
Yeah, really good point there, Paul. Yeah. Really good point. Okay, as for the players, a bunch of them, and I think they sort of said the same thing. It's the National Football League. But let's kick things off with the quarterback, Drake Maye.
Battle adversity. I gave him one early in the game, just battling back that next drive, and I'm just trying to You'd be that next play mentality. That's what coach is preaching all the time. Battling back from good plays, battling back from bad plays, and proud of our defense for stepping up. They stepped up big time, and like I said, it's next men up. We got a lot of guys, come in and play, make plays, and help us out. So just proud of them, and just good to get a win and good to get that 10th win.
It's the NFL. Teams are good. I mean, it's going to come down to the wire. Games can come down to the wire, and I mean, props to them. They did, they came out and fought, and I mean, it's hard to get wins in this league, so it was a good win.
I love those guys. Will and Jared, they've been meant a lot to me. I've got to know them in different ways, and it hurts. It's disappointing, man. But hey, that's this game. That's that's life, and they'll bounce back and help us down the road.
It was a battle. It was a tough one for sure, and I try to just expect that going into each week, not looking at the record. I don't really pay too much attention to the records of the team because I know in the NFL, every week is always going to be a dogfight. And so, thank God we got through that and came out with the win.
All the guys are not satisfied with it, too. We know there's a lot more ahead of us, and we know that we need to play better, too. I think that we take a lot of pride in that, too, that we need to play better. And, the real games are coming down the stretch, and we got to, continue to improve and continue to get better. I got to be better. Got to be better at the line of scrimmage. Got to be better. Credit to them for catching us some. And like I said, I think I got to do my part and help us play cleaner football and punch it down there in the red zone. And I take that to heart, and I'm gonna be better.
Thought it was good to hear from the quarterback who takes some ownership of his play today, and from Hunter Henry, veteran captain, saying there's bigger games coming down the road. I like to hear that. To hear that. And I would also say that there was a lot of people who were asked about the two offensive linemen that went down in Jelani Tavai. That sounds like that's something that doesn't sound great that he and his family are going through. And there was a lot of talk from the players that, they want to make sure that they know that they're with him in spirit. I understand that he's with them in spirit. They're thinking about him. And so it sounds like he and his family might be going through a tough time, which why he was didn't make the trip.
Yeah.
I don't like hearing that. Just also, too, something I've seen from the locker room. Brendan Schooler and Jared Wilson spotted in walking boots. Jared Wilson with a cane as well, kind of helping him walk. So not sure what that means, but take it for what it's worth.
I think Trent Green's the only one on the
be
planet
back in a couple
that
plays.
didn't think that one was serious.
He's going to take a couple plays out.
Cut
it off.
I know I usually save this from Mondays with you.
Yeah, let's do it.
That was an exceptionally bad call today by CBS.
It was terrible.
Okay.
I lost track at about 24 just flat-out errors by the
Was it
play-by-play
Justin
guy.
Hooper that was the starting tight end for them? Yeah.
Justin Hooper.
When Kwani's jumping on the pile, you don't think
I know my plays, but
Mike
this
at one point, because Mike is a little like me, it's kind of white noise for us. It was so bad today, it was hard to ignore.
I kept hearing stuff, and I'm like, Justin Hooper. Like,
what? Who are they talking about?
Matt Hooper. Right. Sorry, Justin Hooper.
Well done.
So was the two plays for Wilson like the most egregious? When he said that, I'm saying the guy can be, he's hunched over.
I know.
He couldn't get off the field under his own, whatever.
No,
I mean, I don't want to.
No, there was nothing worse than watching those guys go off.
The Drake Maye line that he said, I got to be better at the line of scrimmage, I think was really interesting because I think for one of the few times this year, the opponent got the better of the Patriots offense today schematically. That's a terrible defense, and they caught him a few times.
Same blitz, right? A couple times.
Same blitz was consistent. One early in the game where they move Ramondre Stevenson up into the A-gap, which is something they've done periodically during the year. As soon as that happened, the whole Bengals defensive line shifted over, got a guy come clean. Will Campbell executed his block perfectly, and the blitz came because there was no one to get him. Later in the game when Vidarian Lowe was in there, same thing. Vidarian Lowe blocks his guy perfectly one-on-one, and a guy comes unaccounted for. So I think that's some of the things that maybe Drake May's talking about. Yeah. They beat him at the line of scrimmage a little bit today.
And Trent Green did a good job on a couple of those, by the way, in bringing that out, so that we're just not killing
He did.
them.
My criticism is more with the play-by-play guy who couldn't identify a player. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what you're there for.
If you would ask me in training camp, what do you think it's going to look like for Drake Maye this year? That was the game. That was kind of what I was expecting from him. Like
his raw ability will get him through.
Yeah.
But he's going to look overwhelmed at times. Today's the first time since week 1 that he looked overwhelmed at times, I thought.
Yep.
And so going forward, I think, is it safe to say that what we saw, how they ended the game on the left side of the offensive line, that's what it's going to look like for the Giants game and maybe going forward for a while, right?
I think there's a good chance of that,
I'm bracing myself. It's going to be Vidarian Lowe and Ben Brown on the left side of this line here on out. Maybe I have a little bit of hope in Wilson. We'll see. Maybe that's a high ankle sprain, a few weeks, something like that. But the way he was limping, I don't feel good. And just the look of Will Campbell putting the towel over his head. I don't know. You just get a vibe.
We don't want to speculate, but it looked bad.
The dreaded ACL, when that comes, and that was the vibe I got there. So definitely Will Campbell in my thoughts. He's great guy. He's been awesome as a rookie, and it's just you hate to see this go completely sideways just in one play. But again, that's what happens.
Nature of the game, unfortunately.
Sounds cliche, but that's what the NFL is all about.
I know. You just never know who they're going to take. You never know who the football gods are going to decide to sacrifice in this one.
Right. And you guys would know because you follow this a little bit more closely than I do. Did somebody come out this week and write a column about how great their health has been and everything like that?
I don't know, but whoever it is, we better string them up.
I do believe the head coach did get a little jab at the beginning. He goes, "Thanks for pointing out the health during the week. Really appreciate that."
Yeah.
You hate to see it.
Wow.
Well, you guys, I think of in 2011 when Andre Carter was going off and having a great year and everything, and then he got lost. I don't know. I think it was in Denver. Down the stretch, and it's just those things happen, and you don't know if it's going to be the first game of the season or one of the last games of the season that your team dynamic gets kind of changed. And the truly great teams are the teams that pull together and figure out how to overcome these things. And
Correct.
Vidarian Lowe's been here for a reason, and now it's an opportunity for him to get in there and play some solid games.
And I got to tell you, I think that the biggest factor in pass protection has been Drake May.
That's a
and
great point.
I think that will continue to be the case. I'm not. It ain't great. I'm not going to just sugarcoat it, but I'm not overly concerned about the offensive ones. I think the defensive attrition is starting to pile up a little bit. That's more concerning to me. But the offensive line, they'll get by. They'll figure it out.
That being said, how do you all want them to regroup offensively for the Giants? Knowing the Giants have had an inconsistent season, too.
They went to overtime today.
Yeah, they went to overtime, and then they lost.
They've seemed to play the same game every week.
Yeah,
We're going to be
it's
up by
weird.
2 scores in the fourth quarter, and we're going to lose.
Yeah, try not to do that. But, I think, what Travian Henderson said, I thought rang true to me. It's just I don't really try to look at teams' records. This is the NFL. Every game's going to be a fight. And after this game against this team and this defense, how can you not? And how can you not look at what the Giants have done and not think you're going to come in here on Monday night and be ready for an absolute war again that – you don't know some guys are going to be in certain positions. You don't even know what the composition of your team is going to really be at this point. And the Giants are just going to let it rip. They don't really care. They're, Jameis Winston, I love him. I mean, we'll see if Jackson Dart gets back. But, even still, this is a team that's going to let it rip. And they got some pass rushers that can disrupt things.
Absolutely.
And this team isn't any worse. The Giants aren't any worse than the team you played today.
No, not at all.
You better be ready to go.
I mean, Abdul Carter, they don't got an Abdul Carter on Cincinnati. Let me tell you.
They need that.
Well, they do. He wasn't playing today.
Well,
Much like everybody else.
Did you give Cincinnati a little credit today for not packing it in and playing hard? Or?
I think they needed to win every game.
Right.
I think they did. They emptied the bucket. Too bad their coach didn't.
Yeah.
The coach very afraid.
Going for field goals.
Going for punts.
Yeah.
On 4th and inches twice.
All right, let's take it back out to the phone lines. Ivan is in California.
Hey, gang. How we doing?
Yeah, Ivan.
We're good.
Boy, that was rough. Thank God Burrows and Jamar weren't playing, and the coach is an idiot. That helped us out tremendously.
Very true.
I believe that last part was instrumental.
That's ridiculous, really. But that's why we have 10 wins, right? I mean, that's the deal. We have a really good coach. We can beat bad football, and as we see, there's a tremendous amount of it. But it just really sucks because the one guy we could least afford to lose on the offensive line, and I feel bad because that he's such a great guy and also our best offensive lineman, right? And this team, listen, I've been saying before, we enjoying the ride. This team is taking on water, and we talked. You guys have made mention of it as well. There's not a lot of depth, and I think that I don't know if the number 1 seed was ever really I think to me realistic in a sense because a really good team is going to take us down just based on where we're at. But at the end of the day, we're still having a great season. It's just that just try to hang in there. To me, I look at it as we can get a playoff game in Gillette, regardless of what happens. The arrow's still pointing up, and we keep going. So.
Yeah, tell me what that game looks like and who the opponent is. I don't know. I mean, I'm at the point now where I don't want to lose to Jacksonville.
Tell me what the game looks like. I think you make a great point, Mike. It's just everybody wanted to do this before the season started. and we kept saying, can we see how it plays out? Like right now, yes, I'm not dumb. If you had said all of this stuff was going to happen before the season, I would have said, yes, I'd be thrilled. But I want to see how it unfolds.
Sure.
Like, are you going to tell me you're going to be okay now if they like lose the rest of their games? No way you're going to be okay with that.
Expectations have changed.
Right. And I don't know why the number 1 seed is not realistic. You have it right now. You're tied with Denver, with 2 losses. You're at the top of the conference. It's right there for you to take if you can take care of business. You have an opportunity.
Is that the tenor of and the tone of the calls and the emails? Like Ivan, down and out?
Yeah, I think. Well, I haven't gotten any emails actually, so if you have any, send some in. But yeah, it feels as though from even looking on Twitter, the reaction that fans are putting out is kind of
it's
up and down.
We talked all week about how bad this team was.
Right, and then you're like, wait a minute.
Hey, score, and score some more. Like they scored 1 offensive touchdown the whole game. So, it's just. Is this a tired team that needs a break and then can get back on track? Is it a team that can pick itself up and just get back on track within this week and, kind of get back on the upswing? Because, to me, the last few weeks, it's been good. They've been getting wins, but it also feels like there are some cracks popping in. And
rush defense.
I think what the caller said is that there's some water coming on in some areas. And then you add in some injuries, and it's, all right, is this team going to turn it around and rally around each other and maybe even find, I don't want to say a new identity, but it's something to that effect where you're going to have some new players that are going to have to step into roles and maybe step into, do things that you didn't necessarily expect 2 weeks ago. So, they're going to have to adjust on the fly like all these NFL teams do. And, it's a big challenge for Mike Vrabel to, like you said, get, put this behind us. Good, bad, whatever it is, let's get back to neutral. And I think that's the biggest challenge for this team right now, getting off of this. And, it's hard because you're winning games. You don't want to say like, oh, my God, we're going down the drain. But I think if you watch these games closely, you listen to the players, you see the injuries that are adding up, you know that they're kind of up against it right now. And this is the adversity they're going to have to push through if they want to be a team that gets to January and make some noise.
This is a team that looks like they could desperately use a second wind. Don't they look like they could just give me a second wind?
Yeah.
Like they're still trying to grind them out, and but it's
just like a fight every week.
The lack of the offensive run game, the way the defensive run game is starting to open up a little bit. Some of these drives where it's just all too easy for another team to go down. It's just these little things, and if you're paying attention, you see those things, and you say, I don't like it. Like you got to get rid of that stuff.
Right.
All right, let's see. We're going to head to Virginia. Hi, Emery. Are you underwater?
Good evening, everyone.
Good
evening.
Emery.
Good evening.
Good teams find a way to win football games, and it's hard to win in the NFL. Everything I'm hearing from the players and from Coach Vrabel and his staff. I don't know, have y'all been watching the NFL this season? There's been a lot of bad football. But Coach Vrabel is building an identity here, and I'm real encouraged by it. This organization won a total of 8 games this past 2 seasons. So there's no doom and gloom energy here. A win is a win, and all wins are good. We're on to the Giants. Go Pats.
Hey,
Great call, Emery.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it is really hard to win in this league, but at a certain point you go from I'm going to be satisfied with just 9 wins. We had a winning season to, hey, it's lining up this year. We've had good injury luck. The quarterback's playing like an MVP. Make the most of your chances because you never know when these things are going to line up, and I don't think it's the kind of thing.
Stop jumping offside on 4th and 5.
right.
I'm not asking for a lot.
Yeah.
I'm not asking for a lot.
Don't beat yourself, but yeah, I think they have an opportunity to not just get into the playoffs, but win a game if they play the way they're capable of. But if they continue to,
there's no reason for them to not think that they can beat anybody.
Correct.
There's nothing that's happened in this league to tell them that they can't compete with anybody.
Yeah.
So I'm not satisfied with this.
No.
That's becoming one of my top 5 cliches that I hate. Hard to win in this league. 16 teams do it every week. Like, don't jump offside on 4th and 5. The other team made more mistakes than you, and they lost the game. But, like, you can do better than this. They can play better than they played today. If this was week 1 and they found a way to win the game, I'd probably be sitting here whistling Dixie saying how ecstatic I am.
Right.
But now I'm 10-2, and I have aspirations for more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so true. Okay, Frank, in San Diego, how are you feeling?
Hello.
Hey, Frank.
Hey, guys, great show. Paul, Mike, and Kwani, great show. I'm a first-time caller. I'm from sunny San Diego.
Thanks.
Only in New England. Only in New England are we so pessimistic. There's not a single team in the NFL that would not like to be 10-2, have 9 straight wins in a row, and that are 6-0, undefeated on the road. There's not a single NFL team that would like to change places with us. Remember when Coach Belichick used to say, we are on to Cincinnati? Well, we are on to New York. That was a tough game today. But there's still 9 straight wins. Stop being so pessimistic. I mean, is the glass half
The only pessimism is about injuries, in fairness. No one's pessimistic about winning 9 in a row. The pessimism is being disappointed that they lost potentially 3 starters today.
Yeah, you know what? But nothing's happened. We continue to win. We're going to beat New York. We're going to get healthy in our bye.
Okay, well, you know more than I do. I can't see the future.
Yeah.
I don't know that. I mean, I think Will Campbell and Jared Wilson have significant injuries, so I don't know that they're going to be okay. But I guess you know, so I don't know.
No, I don't.
You just said it. They're going to be healthy.
Takes care of everything. Winning takes care of everything, and
Okay.
we are winning.
It's good.
9 straight wins.
Good life
in a
lesson,
row.
Mike.
I mean, why
Learn from
beat
that
this
one.
down? Hey, here's my last question to you guys. See if you can answer this. See if you can figure this out. It's more of a coaching question. Why, when we know that we're going to run the ball, when we know it's going to be a running play, and the defense knows because they're stacking the defense, why don't we spread out? Why don't we spread out so everyone is not right there when we try to do a running play for 1 yard? Hey, thank you so much.
Thanks, Frank.
Thanks, Frank.
Frank is very
I have nothing.
optimistic.
I don't know. Are you saying that you didn't love the short yardage running situation?
Yeah,
from
right.
the game, or-
Which we talked about.
You weren't happy with the red zone
Did they run it
They
for
don't have
100
an answer.
today? They didn't, did they?
No.
The Patriots?
Yeah.
No.
Patriots.
But
They-
I mean,
they
to
were
Paul's
awful.
point, and I was, just kind of looking at the thing. I mean, Paul was right. I mean, as they graded, Henderson had 10 successful runs. I mean, it wasn't overly productive, 16 carries for 66 yards, but did have some situations where gained more than 4 yards or whatever the the criteria is per down. So but
Traditional
not
runs,
enough.
they had 24 carries for 71 yards.
So May and
Sorry, 25 carries for 71 yards.
So the May scrambles and the end around to Douglas. Got
Correct.
him
That
over
was
100.
really the only.
And even then, there was 3.5 a carry, counting that.
Right. Yeah, those are only the only 10+ yard runs in the game. So there's nothing from the running backs.
But, I mean, when you're on the goal line, you're inside the 1 yard line, like, they know you're running, you know you're running. Your job is to get the yard. I actually hate when teams get tricky down there and try to finesse it in. Like, you need to run it. Now, last week, they gave the ball to Trevion Henderson twice in those situations, and you got 2 7-yard touchdown runs because you were able to physically push the Jets into the end zone. Today, they weren't able to do it. I mean, I'm not going to lose, my faith in the team because they weren't able to get a yard. It was bad execution down there, no two ways about it. But you got to get a yard. You had how many, Mike? Five plays from the 1 yard line, 6 if you count the penalty.
Yeah, I mean that one drive they had 9 plays, 9 plays total from the 5 and in.
From the 5 and in, and you got to score there, But give the Bengals credit. I thought they got aggressive down there. I thought they were tight with their coverage. They made him work for it. Even the hold on Booty, it was a good call. He got held.
Yep.
But it was good coverage. The guy didn't get fooled. We've seen guys get fooled on those where like Mac Hollins just slips out uncovered or someone else does. They did a good job. Sometimes the other team's gonna win those battles.
I really like that play though. That shovel pass.
Mahomesian little shovel pass.
Yeah, shovel pass to Hunter Henry, which man,
Nearly
you
scored.
stop a yard short. You're like, oh,
Like that's a good hard run right there by Stevenson. He just got stacked up. They kept him out.
2 guys in the backfield.
Like you can't you got to be better than that down there.
No, and it goes to like what you said about last year, where Stevenson was able to break some tackles, and those tackles getting hit in the backfield, he'd slip out and pick up some yardage. No, not today, not today.
They had at least 3 tackles for a loss. I'm probably low on that.
The red zone offense is a concern.
Yes.
But it's a minor concern for me because I don't think it's been that bad. Today it was.
Yeah.
Now, whatever the numbers are,
Surprising against this
nine
defense
plays
that
from
it
the
was
5
down.
yard line, that's inexcusable. But I don't think that's been a huge problem this year, and it certainly wasn't a problem last week when they were running it in.
So to the question from the caller, what would you have liked to see them do in the how would you have liked to see them regroup in that instance?
I would like to see them block better and just
Win
run
the
it
line
in
of
from inside the
scrimmage.
1 yard line.
Execution.
Like Maye said, yeah.
Execution.
I mean, all these highlights that were shown in the game, I mean, it's just the common theme to me looks like you're getting overwhelmed at the line of scrimmage, and you're losing the battle in the trenches.
Yeah, but I didn't want to do anything different. I had no problem with the only play call I didn't like was the sneak to May. Somewhere there was a third and inches.
Was that the alleged tush push?
May just not run a quarterback sneak well.
No.
Was that,
he turns his
right,
back.
You said,
and that puts the ball behind, where he was. This is like they're just losing the battle at the line of scrimmage, like Mike said. Look where the guy's making the tackle in the backfield.
This is the tush push.
This is I don't like the way he turns. I don't think I don't like the way he turns his back.
Yeah. Now the ball has no chance.
But for the
he
most
knows.
part,
We have to do better,
I
he
don't
said.
really have any. I don't have any problems with the play calls themselves for the most part. That the execution was not good today.
Yeah. Understood. Okay, let's take it to the Poconos. I used to summer there at my family. Ron, how are you? How Poconos?
What are you, baby house?
Well, no, but it was
I used
like
to summer in Malden.
Cool story, Hassel.
I think it was the most affordable trip we could go on.
Were you in Dirty Dancing?
No.
You were there with the Houseman family. No one puts Kwani in a corner.
Well done. Ron, how you doing?
Yeah, hello to you all. Thank you for everything that you do. I just want to say I agree with everything that everybody's been saying. The late buy, the tiredness, the injuries, all of it. I think it's down to the coaches now to keep everybody focused and going forward in the right way. And I believe in the coaching staff. Vrabel, I believe in him. So we'll see what happens. We don't know where it's going to go, but I wouldn't trade our staff for anybody.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
I'd agree with him there. And I think another one of the challenges that they have is, and people mentioned it a couple weeks ago, they got a weird week again this week. There's a holiday coming up on Thursday. And with as close as this team appears to be, and I think everybody's commented it's very close, you want to give them that time to be with their families and everything like that. Then you got to get them to ramp it back up, and you're going to have a practice on Saturday, which is not part of what your routine has been to play on Monday night, with a carrot hanging in front of you after that Monday night game, knowing there's more time to be had after that. So there's some scheduling quirks.
It's one of
that
the
they're
few
dealing
things, though, that benefits them is that. Like they get, and you heard Carlton Davis say it, like they get to spend the Thanksgiving with their families.
Otherwise it'd be Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday.
Because it's a Monday night game.
Or they'd have been practicing on Thursday.
They'd have been practicing. They're practicing Saturday because you practice Saturday when you have a Monday night game.
Correct.
Saturday is Friday.
Yeah.
So that's a quirk in the schedule that is highly beneficial. I'm sure every one of those players is very excited about the fact that a Monday night game fell on Thanksgiving week, and they get to enjoy the holiday with their families.
We need to check on the healing powers of mashed potatoes.
Seriously.
Rub
All
some
the
mashed
home
potatoes
cooking.
on Will Campbell's leg. And
Wilson's ankle.
Drake May's wife baking, all the family cooking.
Drake's wife's got to bake something, get these guys healthy.
Yeah, but hopefully it is a reset that they need mentally, too, of just like taking a break and then getting back into it, knowing that they have to finish off the rest of the season stronger.
It's funny, though, because it's like, you say that, but then at the same time, it's like they've been on the schedule where it's like my routine and I'm down, and then
true.
Monday I go to this, and it's a young team. And so some of these guys, it's such a common refrain you hear from young players when they come into the league, in my experience, is of, I talked to this vet and he told me, get your routine down. This is when you get your massage, and this is when you go and do workouts.
Get your body right.
Get your body right.
So now you're knocked off that for a little bit.
Right. So now it's a challenge for, I usually get my massage on this day, and that sounds kind of maybe massage is the bad example. When do I get my massage? Excuse me. When do I get all my cupping stuff? These guys walk out and you're just like, my God, and there's just these lines
Red
up their back.
circles,
you can tell all the things that they have to go through just to get ready to play. But, I do think even though it's challenging to do it every Sunday at 1, there's also just, I felt it when we were doing our show. You just get into the rhythm and all right. And it's maybe hard to get better on a short week. And so, we'll see how they manage it, because now you have one game in the next, basically 3 weeks that, you got to get healthy, but at the same time, you can't lose the edge.
Right.
All right, Cindy in Mass, how are you?
Hi, how you doing?
Good.
Hey, Cindy.
Hey, first of all, thanks for doing what you guys do. Short call. a win is a win, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to be like Belichick. Well, we're moving forward to a week from tomorrow. We have to focus on the Giants. Right?
Good impression.
So, question, I looked up their record. Are they 2-10?
Correct.
The Giants, yeah.
Okay. So, question, is this going to be a trap game? With that being said, I wish you guys the best. You take care.
Thanks,
You too, Cindy.
I mean,
Thank
I
you.
think that's kind of what we were just talking about. Like,
So I think it is a trap game.
Oh, really?
See, I think this week was
to
more
the,
of a
to the
trap
bye.
game.
You mean
Really?
you're looking forward to the bye? And you
No, I think when you when you have something that you're looking ahead to and you're playing someone inferior,
time.
that's to me the definition of a trap. You're playing a bad team when you're looking forward to a bye. Now, I think that I don't have any data on this. I'd like to see it. Teams that are heading into the bye.
But the Giants are heading into the bye too.
But the Giants,
2 buys.
the Giants are 2-10. The Giants are just playing the string out.
I want
Now,
to play golf.
They're just trying to be villains
Matt,
at this point.
Matt came in and he made the comment about were you surprised that the Bengals played? Like a little bit, yeah. And I was, especially with how badly they played. I thought if they played well, maybe that you kick it up. But they played so poorly at times in this game. But they just kept fighting. They kept scrapping.
Well, that was to me winning the line of scrimmage. I mean, that's where you see whether or not a team came to play or not. Like whether or not a cornerback is like ready to run. But like
Physically,
your
they brought
guys
it.
in the trenches are
It's a
ready
good point,
to get
Mike.
into a
Absolutely.
street fight tonight, and they were ready to get into a street
But
fight.
you were surprised by Cincinnati. You're not surprised by the Giants because of the way they have been fighting over the last few weeks.
Well, I was surprised that the Giants kept. I mean, the Bengals
stayed
kept
in it.
playing.
Yeah.
You know, like I would have thought for sure when Flacco threw
It was
the
done.
inexplicable handoff to Marcus Jones that would be game. You know, and it wasn't. Like they were able to stop them and force a field goal at the end of the half and stop them at the beginning of the third quarter. After they had had to go 3 and out to punt. I was surprised. I
So
was.
the Patriots gave them opportunities to stay in the game
But
by
the
not
Bengals
cashing in
did.
at the goal
I
line.
was,
and
I
they
was
played-
surprised.
Yeah, you're right.
I am. You asked that question right off the top, and my answer is yes.
Yeah.
I knew that this was like a desperation game for the Bengals because they looked at it as if we can somehow win. I mean, you know who's in first place in that division now, right?
Baltimore.
Yeah. Then that's the way the Bengals looked at this: is that team stinks,
Right. Yeah.
and we're going to catch them because they're going to come back to us.
Right.
If we can win out, we can catch Pittsburgh.
Correct.
Now that's probably out the window for Cincinnati, but Baltimore's right there, 6-5, first place.
All right, Jake, how's South Beach looking right now?
Ooh.
I could use that weather.
Johnny South Beach, bro, what's up?
Howdy, everyone. Just calling in for a tiny bit of sort of what I would call like caller, uncaller crime. Not going to tell anybody else how to feel about a victory. I generally feel okay. But what I will say is that the Bengals were down like their 4 best offensive players and almost scored a touchdown on us with seconds waning. We lost potentially 3 excellent players. So I'm just kind of like, I don't know why people would be confused as to why some folks might feel a little less than psyched about the way this victory happened. Yes, a W is fantastic, but they are not all created equal, in my opinion. So that's that.
Yeah. Well said. Thank you, Johnny.
I guess as a head
Agree with
coach
that.
would disagree with him on that.
Yeah.
I guess as a head coach would disagree with the Pyrrhic victory phrase. Hard to win. I know Paul loves that line.
No, my thing is today, like, I understand why fans are a little bit disappointed.
I get it. Of course.
But not because of the game, but because of the injuries.
Yes.
Like, that, to me, like, what can derail you? What is one of the biggest, in my view anyway, one of the biggest things that's been on their side is they're
Health.
playing against a lot of teams that are coming in at well below full strength.
Right.
You're not one of them.
Right.
Now, the next game that you play,
You're not at full strength.
You're going to be at less than full strength.
Right.
That's sort of worrisome.
Sure.
And also, Mike Reese, I was just looking at this tweet from Mike Reese. He said, Mike Vrabel, as we know, usually waits outside the locker room and greets every single player post-game. But this one, it looks like he went straight to the locker room, possibly to check on Will Campbell. Of course, the first reply saying, there are 3 guys hurt, but he's only checking on Campbell. But I again, Reese just kind of reporting he went in there, most likely to check on all of the players that were injured in this one.
That's really interesting. And don't you find that significant?
Yes, because it's been their routine over the last
That's my point.
9 weeks. 10 weeks.
And what Mike's done, which I agree with 100%, if after, every game hasn't been a larruping, where they, just come out, put the pedal to the metal and win.
Most of them haven't been.
And he sits there and he goes, hey, be happy.
Yeah.
We won.
Yeah.
You got to win in the National Football League. It's okay to be happy. We can celebrate this for a couple minutes.
Yep.
Let's be joyous about this. That didn't happen today.
The Patriots just posted the Mike
they did post it,
Vrabel sideline or the locker room greeting guys. And
so it looks like he did it.
In my opinion, the
inside.
vibe is very much like what you're saying, Matt. It looks like a lot of guys who are exhausted and not celebratory, and it just people can watch it and have their own opinion on what they think, but it's definitely not the. I mean, we've seen in the past. Even last week I felt like I getting a win over the Jets,
Energy.
even though it wasn't. But you could feel like it's the excitedness.
But
these ones look like a lot of tired guys who just fought a battle that
because they did.
Yeah.
So
because they did.
But Matt, when you came in, and one of the things that you said was that Mike didn't get into the injuries, so he didn't have any.
I don't have an
updates.
update on anything.
That in itself, to me, told me that it was serious. Number
Absolutely.
A, and B, different than what normally happens.
Correct.
I'm not telling you he comes in and says, well, it's like
We lost this guy for the
Mike
year.
Tomlin. He's got a grade 3 sprain. Like, he doesn't do that, but
Right.
he's usually pretty forthcoming.
He is.
With what's going on. He's very forthcoming on Fridays.
Yes. That's
a good point,
But
ruling guys out.
But even after the games, he's generally telling, that one we'll have to look at. We'll see. He had no updates
Nothing.
on this one. And that tells me that there's concern.
Yep.
At the very least, there's concern.
Yeah, Hunter Henry a little bit of a smirk, but otherwise, guys look like they are exhausted
Yeah.
and just beat. So it's
Yeah, and again, me personally, I can't tell fans how they should feel. This has got a lot less to do with how I feel about how they played. I don't think they played exceptionally well today. I've been pushing back every week when people have been saying, well, geez, they're winning while not even playing their best. I think they've played pretty good for most of these games. Today, they didn't. And they found a way to win. That's impressive.
That is impressive.
That's impressive to find a way. I know the other team played worse. I'm not saying that you played, again, the 07 Patriots today. You didn't. You played a terrible team who was missing most of their good players. But you did what you had to do to find a way to win while guys were dropping like flies. Yeah. That's impressive to me.
And you know what, Paul, you mentioned that. It was something I was thinking about earlier today. Again, say what you want about it, but 10-game winning streaks don't happen very often in the National Football League. And I was thinking about this. For Mike Vrabel, the coach, it's a 10-game winning streak. As a player, he was on a team that won 18 games in a row. Like, those things don't happen very often. That's pretty interesting that he's been able to do that. I don't know. Maybe 10-game winning streaks are common, but it doesn't seem like it to me.
I don't think it's common. I
Right.
mean, there's two teams that have won 9 in a row, well, 8 in a row, whatever, right now. But to me, I'm far more impressed. Just like Vrabel, just his ability to get this team focused. Like, I think he's done a fantastic. And I made Matt before you came in. Just some little things that he did in the game today that were sort of broke from the norm of what we've been seeing most weeks. Kick some field goals today because it was apparent that points were hard to come by today. Your coach has got something going on. Your coach is in tune with what's going on.
He's in tune with his team.
He knows his team.
very,
he knows
very
the
well.
situations.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm not saying I don't go as far as these other guys. Like teams no one would want to switch play. Yeah, I think there's plenty of teams that like their situations too. But if I were the Patriots, I'd be very happy with the situation. They're 10-2 with a coach who has his finger on the pulse of everything that's going on in that locker room.
He cares deeply about every guy on the roster.
I think that they've shown the ability to win in some different ways, and he's shown the ability to do it in different ways, which I think it's impressive.
Yeah, and I get. Look, I feel the same way the fans calling in. You feel overwhelmingly positive about the season right now, but please don't look at us taking apart their games to say that we feel negative about this team. But
I'm looking at the number one seed. I'm not looking at they've won. I don't care about the
just
SID
lose out.
stuff.
I'll be happy with 10 wins.
You care about the what stuff?
I don't care about the SID stuff. The notes don't do anything for me. But if you get the number one seed, you win the AFC East, you get home playoff games, that does something for me.
Right.
Yep.
That gives me some juice heading into the playoffs, knowing that I can be at home, I can win a game and be in the AFC Championship game. That's big stuff.
Yeah.
No one really expected that.
And so those goals right now, those achievements, those are on the table.
Yes.
They're on the table with 5 games left
You
to
could
go.
argue that they'd have to blow it to not get some of those things. I'm not saying the number one seed.
Right.
Yeah,
but to win the AFC East, that's in your hands.
Yep.
Like I said earlier, just don't lose to the Jets or Dolphins, and you're going to win the AFC East.
Yeah, but that's what's a little intriguing to me of what you have the opportunity to do. But it feels like, to get the number 1 seed, I feel like they're going to have to like reassert themselves, maybe with a little bit of a new identity to, win out or potentially maybe just lose one more game to get to that point. I mean, I like what Paul's saying. Sure. They can probably play a facsimile to what these games have been and beat the Jets and the Dolphins at the end of the season. But I don't know if those are good enough to win on the road in Baltimore. And
but
then
if you lose to Buffalo and Baltimore, you're still forcing Denver to win games. You're still forcing Indy to win games. Yeah. And that's not like you guys keep telling me how hard it is to win games.
It is.
So it ain't going to be easy for them to win either.
Yeah. Didn't you say, Mike? Did I hear you say in the pregame show that you got to make sure that the champ is dead? Like you got to stab him 7
Cincinnati,
times.
I know
They were on the ropes, and they found a way to win.
Yeah,
it was a big game for the Patriots.
I'll be interested to go back and check out that game.
Positive.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Huge.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll grind the tape
rooting
on
for
that
Kansas
one.
City.
Might just watch the recap.
Just some of it. But I think to the point, even the caller that said New England is very much known for being negative after a win, and I don't.
Said from San Diego, by the way.
Exactly.
And that irony was not lost.
I don't see that, and I don't really think. I don't think our fans. I don't think that's a correct.
No, that's what I was gonna say. I don't agree with it. Because
no, but I don't think even today. I don't think that's a correct assessment of the way the fans have been. The fans are a little worried about the health.
Yeah, and
I don't think they're worried about being 10-2.
Right.
No, and that's the point that I was going to make. Just overall, I think we have the building the legacy segment for a reason. With every win, you still want to know what can this team do to get better, and that's why shows like this exist, because you want to talk through it, see what can be improved upon. That's what the coaches do on a weekly basis. So
there's no
we're going to do the same thing.
Football game. There's no perfect win.
Yeah.
I mean, but that everybody's right. Like,
exactly.
You've won 9 in a row. You've got 10 wins on the season. On a season that many people said, if they get 6 or 7, I'll be thrilled. So you give them a ton of credit, but again, as
I would have thought 9 was about the ceiling. To be honest,
Yeah.
I'll call myself.
And that would have been realistic.
I'll call myself out. If everything went well, I would have said 9 would have been.
No one would have judged.
That's what I said. 9 and 8. I mean, and I'm a pretty optimistic guy.
And it's 9 wins in a row, not 10 wins in a row. I
wins in a row.
on that.
But 10 wins total.
Yeah.
And I thought you were just teeing it up, Matt, for Monday Night Football.
No, because I think that game's going to be a dogfight. I do.
Yeah.
I think they're now at a point in time where you can't expect them to just. They're not going to cruise. Right now, with what's going on, I don't think they're going to be able to. So it's how do you handle adversity? How do you grind your way through it? That's what they're going to have to try to figure out on Monday night.
It'd be an amazing cap to the pre-bye part of this season to go out on a Monday Night Football on a national stage. I don't care who the Giants are. Go out there and get another win. Get to 11 wins before your bye week, and then get a break. See who can get healthy. See how you can regroup mentally. And what team are you to come out of that bye week and say, we got 4 games right now. Everything's on the plate for us. We put ourselves in position to achieve any goal we want as far as getting into the playoff seedings, all that thing. It's all right there. It'll be great to finish it off with a win here at home.
Good point.
In front of a national audience. We know the juice that comes with that. All the
Thursday
post-game conversations, the videos that go out, everything. It's a much bigger audience. People here are going to be psyched. I mean, it's been a while since you've had a Monday night game with some juice here. So, I'm not going to try to get too carried away thinking about Baltimore and Buffalo and the division and the conference and all those things. Let's just focus on finishing up this part of the schedule right, get that 10th straight win, perfect, nice little round number, get to 11-2, and we'll see what happens.
Week to week. That's what we like to hear. Any final thoughts, prayers, concerns?
That was a good. That was a
well
good
done.
Party. Very nice summation.
That was a good bow we just
Very
put
nice
on
summation.
Yeah, I think it did. Well, that does it for this week's edition of the Patriots Postgame Show, presented by DraftKings. For Matt Smith, Paul Perillo, Mike Dussault, and myself, Kwani Lunis. Thank you for watching, and have a great Thanksgiving.
Hey, this is Alex. Thanks for tuning into the show. If you really want to help us, make sure you like us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Also, make sure you follow us on the New England Patriots YouTube channel to see this show and everything else we do here at the Patriots. Thanks a lot.